Now I know what you're saying. Maxwell, we've seen this exact same title a few months ago, and Dortmund bottled it on the last day. Surely you're not doing this again. I am. Quick reminder, by the way, I'm still trying to get to 200k, and if we do get to 200k before the end of the year, I will give you the long-awaited San Marino episode 2. So if you want to see me go through excruciating mental pain, subscribe to the channel. Anyways, I first found out about Bayer Leverkusen in 2015 when I came across a highlights video of that iconic 5-4 match against Wolfsburg. And I've always loved the attacking players from this club, the likes of Chicharito, Karim Bellarabi, Leon Bailey, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Kai Havertz, and of course, Son Heung-min. In general, Leverkusen has overseen the developmental years of so many notable players. Toni Kroos, Arturo Vidal, and Michael Ballack to name a few. And the club still sees a lot of talent go up their ranks. It's almost like Leverkusen fans always have something to be excited about. And as someone who was a big fan of career mode back in the day, Leverkusen always had the insanely overpowered young talent. So it was always so much fun just to bring them to glory. I actually did a series in FIFA 16 and also FIFA 20. For a long time though, this club has held a special place in my heart, so anytime they're doing decently well, it's always nice to see. Leverkusen experienced their golden age back in the late 90s and early 2000s. 2002 was the most notable season, but also the most infamous season as Leverkusen bottled an entire treble, which dubbed the team Bayer Leverkusen. I want to make a more in-depth video about that one day, so we'll just leave it at that. Fast forward to the 2015-16 season, Leverkusen was seen as one of the best of the rest. In the campaign, the team produced its best finish since 2012, placing in third. The season was most famously known for Chicharito's iconic debut season where he immediately became a crucial player, scoring 17 goals. Chicharito had another solid season, scoring 11 in the following campaign. However, Leverkusen's depth struggled to juggle the workload. This resulted in the sacking of manager Roger Schmidt, and Heiko Herrlich took charge for the next season. 2017-18 saw Leverkusen be dealt massive losses with Ömer Toprak, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, and Chicharito's departures. And after 5 games, the team was struggling. However, Kevin Volland, who signed a year prior, stepped up and bagged 14 goals, while Leon Bailey and Julian Brandt, who were seen as career mode wonderkids at the time, both had breakout seasons. This saw Leverkusen as high as second in the league, however their form cooled down a bit, and in the end, Die Werkself finished 5th. Leverkusen had the 3rd best defense as well, but in the following season they had the 8th worst. That might have been due to goalkeeper Bernd Leno leaving and being replaced by Lukas Hradecky, who had a disastrous start to life in Germany. Manager Heiko Herrlich struggled to find the same success from the previous campaign and was sacked after the first half of the season. His successor, Peter Bosz, did some incredible work to lead Die Werkself to a 4th place finish on the final day. Wonderboy Kai Havertz made a name for himself that season and scored 17 goals in the Bundesliga. Kevin Volland was just behind him with 14, and Julian Brandt continued his career upward with a career best 11 assists. In general, the attack was stellar, with 6 different players scoring 5 or more goals. Leverkusen again saw another promising star, Julian Brandt, leave the following season. The team could have used some of his help because maybe his contributions would have been enough to see Die Werkself finish 4th again. However, Kai Havertz still had an excellent season with 12 goals and 6 assists. But 2 seasons of fantastic performances. You know what that means. Another promising talent departed for bigger pastures as Kai Havertz joined Chelsea for nearly 80 million. Kevin Volland followed him out of the door too and was sold to Monaco for 15.5 million. Leverkusen made 2 notable moves during the summer, bringing in striker Patrick Villani-Schick and explosive fullback Jeremy Frimpong. Despite losing their 2 best attacking options, Die Werkself actually went their first 13 games unbeaten. However, after a loss to Bayern, they won only 3 of their next 13. This led to the sacking of Peter Bosz. Caretaker Hannes Wolf then came in, but nothing really changed and Leverkusen finished 6th. One positive, however, was that with one wonderkid gone, another emerged in 17-year-old Florian Wirtz. At just 17 years old, he contributed to 11 goals. The young attacking midfielder popped off in the following campaign with 7 goals and 10 assists to his name. In general, Leverkusen looked far better under the guidance of new manager Gerardo Sean. Patrick Schick, coming off a disappointing debut season, racked up 24 goals, putting him 2nd in the league top scorers. Moussa Diaby, who signed in 2019, also emerged out of the darkness with his 13 goals and 12 assists. Only after the first match day were Die Werkself outside the top 6, and in the end they finished 3rd, their best league performance in 6 years. Finally, it looked like the club was on the right track. Oh, now if that wasn't bad enough, the team started their 2022-23 season awfully. In this stretch, Leverkusen failed to beat Hertha Berlin and lost to Augsburg at home. The team was also eliminated in the DFB Pokal by 3rd division side SV Elversberg. This all culminated in the sacking of Gerardo Seon. Die Werkself early on found themselves 17th after 8 games. Add the fact that the club had gone through 3 different managers in the last 19 months, and it looked like a complete crisis. Needing a change drastically, the club then appointed Xabi Alonso as manager. Once one of the best midfielders of his time, Alonso was now a young manager who had just gotten his UEFA Elite coaching license 4 years prior. It felt like a pretty big risk to give someone who barely had any experience the keys, but in the end, it paid off big time. After a rocky start that included a 5-1 loss to Frankfurt, Leverkusen jumped out of the relegation zone and finished in incredible 6th place. The most impressive part about Leverkusen's turnaround was that Alonso earned his team the 4th most points after his appointment. Moussa Diaby again had a wonderful season with 9 goals and 8 assists, as did Jeremy Frimpong, who flourished in Alonso's system, scoring 8 and assisting another 7. After a more than convincing start to life in Germany, Alonso signed an extension until 2026. So without any kind of uncertainty now, Alonso and Leverkusen could focus on the 2023-24 season. Die Werkself failed to produce a single win in their last 5 games of the previous season. However, it was a good opportunity for Alonso to figure out what shortcomings he needed to fill in. One of those being a new fullback, and Leverkusen responded by acquiring Benfica's Grimaldo on a free. Alonso also wanted someone who could help mediate play in the midfield, someone who could pick out some passes from deep, so in came Granit Xhaka for 25 million. The attack saw 3 new additions. Winger Jonas Hofmann from Mönchengladbach for 10 million, 22-year-old forward Victor Boniface from Union Saint-Gilloise for 20 million, and Southampton's Nathan Tella for 23.3 million. Easily one of the best windows for Leverkusen in some time, and yet no one really talked about it before the beginning of the season. But don't forget, this is Bayer Leverkusen, where all promise goes to be shipped off after 2 years.
Well, this sucks.
Moussa Diaby, after a couple successful seasons, left for the cloudy skies of Birmingham to join Aston Villa for 55 million. Nevertheless, under the Spanish manager, the team has seen dramatic improvement from last season. So far in his first season, Xabi Alonso has managed to do what many before him haven't, and that's successfully build upon the previous campaign. So how has he done it? Before Alonso's appointment, a big issue for Leverkusen was that they were overcommitting in the attack, which left them extremely vulnerable in the back. In the first 8 games of the 2022-23 season, Die Werkself conceded the 3rd most goals. So when Alonso came in, he made the team's attack more stable. No longer would they just throw people up there. Now, Leverkusen would learn to keep the ball, be patient with it, and draw opponents towards them. Improvement wasn't seen immediately, but from the beginning of November to the end of the season, Die Werkself had only conceded 4 more than the best defense in the league. This season, however, all the attention has been on the insanely fluid attack. Leverkusen aren't just the team you want to root for against Bayern this season. Just in general, they're a super fun team to watch. Alonso has his team set up in a 3-4-3 formation, consisting of 2 central midfielders with wingbacks playing alongside them. There are no wingers, just 2 number 10s and of course a number 9 up front. In attack, you will often see the wingbacks burst higher up the pitch, and that sets up a dangerous front 5. Meanwhile, the center backs and central midfielders will try and pick out a pass to either the wingback or a number 10. The number 10s will also play a little deeper than their attacking counterparts to draw defenders away and to create passing diamonds with a center midfielders and center backs. The basic way to understand this is that Leverkusen will oftentimes go this particular route. Center back to central midfielder to number 10 to wing back to striker. And sometimes they might skip a step or two, so central midfielder to wing back then to striker, or center back to number 10 to striker. It all just depends on the situation. That's the most interesting part of the philosophy because there's so many different combinations. And if one end is blocked, the team can easily recycle to the other. So far, this attacking playstyle is seeing its best days, and with it, Leverkusen has one of the best attacks in the league. Tied for the most goals, and they're also top of the charts for goal creating actions per 90 with 6.2. Of course, the most vital part of this system is a foundation of good ball playing defenders. Edmund Tapsoba, who is an outside center back in the formation, has been excellent in this regard with his 27 carries per 90, 4th most in the league. You also need someone who's patient, quick, and confident with the ball in the midfield, and that's where new signing Granit Xhaka comes in. In a 2-2 draw with Bayern Munich, Xhaka had 97 touches of the ball, more than any Bayern player in that game. The wingbacks on both ends have been spectacular. Jeremy Frimpong continues to entertain the masses with 2 goals and 3 assists so far, and new signing Alex Grimaldo has himself the same stat line. He might be a little more impressive though because his 2 goals come from free kicks. Florian Wirtz is absolutely flourishing in his role, 1 goal and 3 assists so far. He also averages the most chances created per 90 and is averaging an assist every 140 minutes. Jonas Hofmann, the other number 10, is looking brilliant as well with 4 goals and 3 assists. But the player that has been in the most spotlight so far is forward Victor Boniface.
Ronaldo oder Messi?
Boniface.
On the most fun team to watch this season, you have the most fun player to watch this season. From the moment he has his first touch, you will be on the edge of your seat. Boniface loves to utilize a combination of speed, strength, and his incredibly quick ability on the ball. And the greatest thing about his game is that there's just no hesitation in his step. None. Boniface currently leads the league in total chance creating carries. If he wants to go a certain way towards or away from a defender, he's dedicated to it. And if he sees an opening that can lead to a goal, he will go towards that opening. The only downside with this guy is he can be a little hit or miss with his shots, but with 7 goals in his debut Bundesliga season, Boniface has started brilliantly. Oh, and a quick shout to Lukas Radetzky, who has improved significantly. He's currently 3rd in the league for his goals prevented rate. Now, to say that Bayer Leverkusen will take down Bayern Munich this early on in the season might make me sound a little insane. You wouldn't be wrong. But let me explain a couple other reasonings for this. Firstly, I think there's enough depth to see this team pull through to the end. Because, for one, Leverkusen is blessed with a multitude of attacking talent. You have Adam Hlošek, Nathan Tella, who is still yet to make an appearance, Amin Adli, and there's even 19-year-old Ayman Al-Reer, who just came up from the U19s. Then in the midfield, you have options like Nadim Amiri, Robert Andrich, and Ezequiel Palacios. In defense, you have Piero Hincapié and Josip Stanisic, who is on loan from Bayern. Another thing to mention is that unlike Dortmund from last season, Leverkusen is a proper team. Last season, Dortmund was mostly relying on individuals like Julian Brandt and Jude Bellingham, and if the individuals weren't present, there wasn't really anyone else to step up. Nowhere was that more evident than when Dortmund bottled it on the last day due to Bellingham being out for most of the game due to injury. Leverkusen have individuals, but they also have a distinct system where every player knows their role to a T. Individuals in this case really just complement the excellent chemistry Leverkusen has generated. Oh, one more thing, you might not believe this, but Leverkusen have actually earned more points against Bayern than Dortmund since 2016. BVB earned 8, while Leverkusen earned 11. More recently though, Leverkusen has earned 2 wins since the 2019-20 season, while Dortmund has only managed a single draw. What I'm trying to get at here is that even though it's not much, Leverkusen have a little more experience in defeating Bayern than Dortmund. And I mean, like I said before, Leverkusen has already played Bayern once, and that was away from home where they grabbed a huge point. And this team has veterans who have beaten the Giants before and have gone through numerous amounts of adversity. That's going to take them a long way. Again, very early to call, but this is by far the most convinced I've been about a team that could actually take Bayern's crown. Whether that's the case or not, we'll see. But what do you guys think? Do Bayer Leverkusen have a chance? Do Stuttgart have a chance with Guirassy, who has scored 40 goals in the last 2 games? Or maybe even Leipzig, because they have Xavi Simons, who has been balling out. Let me know. Or let me know if Bayern Munich is just going to take it again. By the way, if this video feels just a tad outdated, it's because I had to record this way in advance, because right now I am probably in Asia, where I cannot record. So that's my explanation. Anyways, that shouldn't really be too much of a bother because at least it gives you the bulk of everything else, like the backstory and how Xabi Alonso has transformed the team. But of course, a massive shout out to all our patrons, including Janusz Barasz, Stin, Miliway009, Anazir Makalankam, Aldipu, Alex Rob, Ulta, Anaya20, Araisan, Chris Damasceno, Daniel Ortiz, Francisco Hernandez, Hysteria, Joao Carvalho, Josh Budd, Marco Fujimoto, Miguel Munoz, My Man, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Slider Kid, Sniffer, Taco Okafan, Tana Permilia Celine Khan, Tomicus, Victor, A1KLCF, Chris Visconti, Dominic Griffin, Lewis, Joe Paricio, Lucian Von Croix, Michael Nista, Niche, Patrick Barley, Rowan Cookie, Sylvia Citrus, Subscribe to Tendatem, Unbroken Persona, and Valencia 14. If you'd like to join the Patreon, there'll be a link down below and up in the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you like, follow my TikTok. You can do it if you want. And of course, you can follow my semi-active Twitch, but for right now, it's pretty inactive. But until then, I'll see you guys.